Okay, I guess we can go ahead and call roll.
All right. Okay. I didn't know. All right. This is Fred Goodwin. I'll go ahead and call for roll. Miss Smith,
Here.
Miss LaBeouf,
Here.
Mr. Cole, Mr. Jarman,
Here.
Mr. Foley,
Here.
Mr. Roberts, Mr. Gear.
Here.
Present.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Roberts may be joining us later. He had a family conflict, but we'll just proceed with 5. We have minutes for January to approve. And Mr. Cole emailed me his approval of them, or he was in favor of approving them as well.
I only had one correction or addition, or however you want to couch it, because these are a little more detailed than we've been getting the last few months, which was nice. Thank you very much, whoever did them. In the discussion about page 3 of 4, first paragraph at the end, it says, Mr. Robb explained that plans included the removal of an existing freestanding garage and deck, and that by reducing the coverage of front parking pad and the use of pea gravel, that the lot would maintain a coverage area of only 50%. I believe at that point, Ms. Williams informed him that pea gravel is not allowed in Homewood, and he did not know that. And I would think that might need to be in there. Ms. Williams, do you remember
I do.
that discussion?
I do remember that discussion. Yes.
Yeah. And I remember the rest of it about the 150 feet and the window on that side and on the left side, and all that was there. That was the only thing that I noticed.
So you're requesting that the minutes be amended to make reference to the fact that pea gravel is not permitted. Is that what you're requesting?
Correct.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't dream it up.
Okay, no, no,
You didn't.
I just did not include that. That's all.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, sure.
But that's my only suggestion.
Okay. Then say all in favor of approving the January 7th, 2021 meeting minutes with the addition of the pea gravel comment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. And anyone opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. All right, if there are no communications from the vice chair,
No, sir.
we will, old business case was withdrawn at the request of the applicant. So we will move on to case number 1, which is SV 210205, so 1724 Kensington Road. Is Mr. Blackstock available in attendance?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. If you will state your name and address and the nature of your hardship, please.
Joel Blackstock with Williams Blackstock. Oh, my address. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's I'm losing my mind here. I'm sorry. 1742 Kensington Road. And the request is that I'm adding on to the back of my house, and my house is closer. It's well, my existing home is within the 10-foot setback that's required, and it has been. My existing home was built in 1939, and the plan only really works if you can align the addition with the existing side of the house to make it function properly. So I'm asking for a variance to align the new addition on the back of the home with the side of the existing home that's been there since 1939.
Okay, thank you very much. The public hearing, if anyone would like to speak about this case, they may open up their chat. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, we have no public comment. We will close the public portion and open up to questions from the board. I did have one. In staff's notes, they mentioned that the property grades pretty heavily to the Overton Park side.
Mhm.
And that is, I couldn't get back behind it. I was just looked at it from the front, but that's the reasoning we're having to stay so far to the opposite side of the property. Is that correct?
Yes, Overton Park is on the west side of the home, and there's not a lot of, the lot is fairly narrow.
Mhm.
Mr. Chairman, I don't think that Mr. Blackstock actually listed that as a hardship. That was just something that I had noted when I reviewed
Mhm.
the lot, that could cause problems if he were to try to add on to the other side or to try to move over that addition so that it could be conforming.
Yeah, I was
It
trying to
was,
get, trying
it
to
was
get,
just an observation on my part. It wasn't a stated hardship by Mr.
no, I was trying to give him one.
Yeah. I was too. That was the only thing I could really come up with that could be.
Well, it does, the property does taper off
Well,
kind
and
of
there's
greatly to the left
Mhm.
from, it is sloped down that way, and I can see where it would be an issue.
Problematic.
Yeah.
You may have to,
Fill and do all kinds of
enforce the
stuff.
retaining wall and all,
Yeah.
it would,
Yeah.
it could cause issues.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
also,
probably.
I mean, being public park, it's probably nicer to have the house somewhat recessed and more natural between the park and right up
Mhm.
park.
Hey,
In addition to those structural issues you mentioned.
Sherry, I'm going to
Yes.
recuse myself from
Okay.
voting.
Okay.
I would say that I already had, years ago, I brought this in front of the committee then, and it was approved as a variance, and I just never got around to getting the project done. So I realized that the variance had expired. So also,
Yeah.
maybe this doesn't matter, maybe it does. I'll just mention it. My neighbor next door, I've talked to them about it. And they're probably the only people impacted by this, and they're very supportive of it.
Does their house doesn't go back near as far as your
Mhm.
addition, right?
Mm-mm.
Well, they
No.
just added on to their house, and instead of going backwards, they went up.
Right. Yeah, I remember that case.
And they're I don't think they meet this 10-foot setback either. That's just these older houses, the way the grade lays in here, it slopes quite a bit, and I think they just were put in this way.
Right. I'm just trying to clarify in my mind. There's not like a 15-foot corridor of two one-story homes going, 60 feet back on the property is what I'm trying to
Yeah,
get at.
right. There's probably, when I'm 7 feet off, they're probably 7 or 8 feet off. So that's just the width of their home. And then they've got a driveway in their yard. So they didn't extend back. They went straight up. Yeah, I see what you're asking. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just from a fire standpoint and just a proximity standpoint, I was just curious about that.
Hey, Brian, can you hear me?
Yes.
With Matt's recusal, are we going to be able to vote on this tonight?
It would have to be unanimous, but yes, we can vote with 4.
Okay, thanks.
If there are no more questions or comments,
I
Entertain a
move
motion.
I move we approve BZA case SV 21-02-05.
Second.
All right. Ms. Smith?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry, I'm calling for the vote. You are saying yes, all right. Ms. LeBeouf,
Yes.
Mr. Jarman,
Yes.
and Mr. Foley recused himself. Is that correct? All right. And Mr. Gear.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, you have 4-0, so your variance request is approved. You have 180 days to pull your permit.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Okay, case number 2, SV 21-02-06. That would be 315 Dale Avenue. Would be Mr. Saab, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Are they not on?
Is Mr. Saab on this Zoom call? There's nothing in the participants that says Saab, so I guess we will give him another short period of time and then we'll move him to the back and go on with case number 3. Are you Mr. Saab?
No, they were getting ready. They're the next ones up.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm Brett Lipsey. This is my wife Elizabeth. We're case number 3.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to move case number 2 to the end of the agenda and go on to case number 3, which is SV 21-02-07, 113 Hall Avenue. How did you pronounce your name? I'm sorry.
It's Lipsey.
Livesey. Okay. Mr. Livesey, if you will state your name and address and the nature of your hardship.
Yes, my name is William Brett Lipsey. My wife Elizabeth Lipsey. Our address is 113 Hall Avenue. And the nature of our hardship is we have just recently moved in this home and we have plans to renovate. And due to the lot that we're on, there's an easement in the back, sewer easement, cuts across parallel to the back of the house, and a second easement that cuts across the street and runs very close to the back right portion of the house. And due to the nature of that easement and preventing us from building too far backwards, we're limited to about 450 square feet off the back. And so because of those limitations, we are asking for approval to build a front porch, an open front porch. The current setback on the front is 25 feet. The existing structure of the home is at 25 feet. The porch is going to be 8.8 feet. And so that would take the new setback or the new distance from the street to 16.2 feet.
There we go. Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. If anyone would like to speak to this case, they may do so at this time. I think by just joining the chat. Okay, doesn't look like we have any public comment, so we will close the public portion and open up to questions from the board. Right, as far as this easement, no, yeah, this easement goes, how far back can you actually build? It looks,
So the easement's a 20-foot easement. We've been working with Jefferson County Department of Environmental Services and gotten approval. It's in an email that I forwarded to, I think, Miss Sherry
Mhm.
or Miss Vicky. But
Yep.
they've given us approval to build within 5 feet.
And I had actually emailed some more to get, with Matt, with the county, to find out about encroachments and overhangs and all of that kind of stuff, which, and I got a response from him. That information I forwarded, did all of that to Wyatt Pugh, so that when the building plans come in, we can make sure that we have, that they meet the requirements and all of that. But this plan that is shown on page 3 of staff's report was actually reviewed by the county.
okay, and this is an easement, like they can build on one side of it or the other side of it, but not on top of it?
Well, they can build within a certain distance of it. And it's all based on the, how far down this pipe is and how big the pipe is. And so they've done all of those calculations. And actually the email, if you want me to read it to you,
Well,
just
I
so
don't-
you can, I'm trying to see if there's something that it says we looked at the depth of the sewer line related to the proposed addition. Given that the sewer is shallow, the county can still maintain the sewer with the existing and proposed encroachments. And he goes on about a bunch of other stuff, but that just lets you know that we have been in communication and they have seen this. And so,
So they cut them a little bit of slack is basically what they did. Okay.
yeah, that they don't want them on top of it. They want them, but they can still get to it without having to dig so far down that it's going to undermine the foundation of the house, they believe.
Okay. Okay. My other question is probably a staff question. Where would the 16-foot setback start with regards to the road and the gutter?
Well, we do
'Cause
have
it's
a
got-
right of way.
It's got a, the street and then the
Yep.
gutter
There's-
drain and then
There's a
yard.
50, excuse me, there's a 50-foot right of way on Hall. So if you generally measure from, center line 25 feet, that's where their property will actually start.
Oh, that's good. So it'll be farther off than I walked off. Okay. Because
Mhm.
I just walked it off from the edge of the gutter, basically where the grass stopped, walked it into the yard. So that'd be,
Yes,
not
it's
be-
it's a little bit more into
More
the
than that,
yard
okay.
is where the right of way would extend, if
okay. Because that would, yeah.
assuming
that
that
helps.
it's equally to,
Sure. Okay, that was my big concern.
Just,
Anyone on the board?
just a question. Did this in any way impact your decision to stay there, or was it? I guess I'm asking, how difficult was it to get what you feel you need in your home with the constraints given to you by the easement.
Yeah, no, so my wife and I have lived in Homewood for, I don't know, 8 years now, and this will be our third house in Homewood. We have 3 daughters, and we moved to a 2-1 with hopes of renovating. And so we're crammed in here right now. But so yeah, to the point that was made earlier, Jefferson County did give us a little bit of help in allowing us to have that additional 5 feet. But as far as moving over here and the reasons we've moved over here, it was to make this kind of our long-term home. The sewer easement was kind of, we were blindsided by that a little bit. And so, yeah, the front porch, well, there's only so much room to go back. And so the front porch would allow us to have a little bit more living space than, you know, we can't go back any further because of that sewer.
Anyone else? I move we approve BZA case SV 21-02-07.
I second.
All right. Ms. Smith? Voting, Ms. Smith?
Yes, sorry, I had to unmute myself.
I'm sorry, cut you off phone. All right, Ms. LaBeouf,
Yes.
Mr. Jarman,
Yes.
Mr. Foley,
Yes.
Mr. Gear. Well,
Yes.
all right.
Okay, your case is unanimously approved. You have 180 days to pull your permit.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much.
All right, thank you. Okay, case number 4. Let's go forward. It's SV 21-02-08, just 1521 Wellington Road. Is Mr. Long available?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, if you would state your name and address and the nature of your hardship, please.
Sure. I'm Richard Long with Long Design. Business address is 1825 29th Avenue South. The property address is 1521 Wellington Road. I've designed the home renovation, and the request is for a front setback variance to be 25 feet. The current home is at 35 feet. Part of the home is actually at 30.3 feet. It's a bay window that's existing. And the front porch addition would be about 10 feet deep, 15 feet wide, and 15 feet tall, which was the current height of the house. And so the new addition would be 25 feet from the front property line. Because of grading, because of the topography of the lot, the home really couldn't be built any farther away than 35 feet from the property line. It really falls off, in the back of the house. And so the house is really a front yard home for kids to play, for watching kids, for entertaining. And so the homeowner would like to have a covered front porch at the front door entry. Also, because of the property lines, the house is not built parallel to the property lines, so it's kind of hemmed in by the side property line there. And we have, I'm not sure if there's any neighbors present on the meeting, but I think there's 6 neighbors that have supported the addition, and some, if not all, have submitted online. And so, yeah, that's it.
All right, Mr. Long, thank you very much. To your point, yes, we do have several letters, all, I believe, in support of the project from neighbors on and around Wellington. But this is a public hearing. If anyone would like to speak to this case, they may do so at this time. You can just unmute yourself and start talking. Okay, looks like we have no public comments, so we will close the public portion and open this up to questions from the board.
Do you have some plans that you can show us? We didn't get anything with the packet, or I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, we do have plans. Like I said, it's a 15-foot wide covered porch addition. It's gabled. I could.
Can you do a screen share?
Sure. Yeah. This is the addition. And showing the front of the home and the front porch added on here. So basically 3 square columns that support a beam that support the covered addition with a gable that has shingles that matches the house. This is the existing bay window here.
Is that going straight off the straight out the front door?
That's right. Yep, straight
Okay,
off over here.
So centered up. Okay.
That's right. 15 feet wide, 10 feet deep in order to stop at the 25-foot setback line, and it's 15 feet tall. So the ridge lines up with the existing ridge of the home.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Okay.
I have a quick question. I didn't see on that plan, are you just replacing the existing bay window, or is there a new bay window?
There is a new bay window, and it's, I think, 2.5 feet deep. It's basically a breakfast room addition. It doesn't
Is it
come
just
out
on the other side of the house, so it just kind of evens it out? I just didn't see it on your plan when you held it up, and I was
Okay.
making sure that I had the right.
It's the windows here. That's the window addition.
Oh, okay,
This is an existing bay window.
right.
It comes out farther than this bay window.
Oh, okay. I see now. I can see now.
Okay.
I was just looking for neat again. I was looking for a matching bay window, and I just wanted to make sure that we had the variance request properly
Right.
noted. Okay.
The existing bay window, according to the
So
survey,
a plan view would make it come out only 10 feet from,
2.5 feet is our bay window projection,
okay.
which puts it at about 32 feet from the property line. The
Okay.
existing bay window is 30 feet, 30.3 feet from the property line. So that bay window addition would not come any closer to the front property line than the existing bay window.
And the porch, the existing porch, how far out does it come? Let's see, according to this, excuse me, the survey, it comes out somewhat from the house. It doesn't give me a dimension, so I can't visualize that.
And it's really just a patio. It's not a covered porch.
Okay.
But
But how far-
sorry, your 15-foot porch, that is basically from the home out, not the edge of this front stoop thing.
That's right. Where the
Okay.
porch will be added is to the portion of the house that's 35 feet from the front property. And so we're basically going to have a 10-foot deep porch if we just comply with the 25-foot variance.
And is that about where the current walkway is that runs parallel to the house?
It's actually a little, it's not that far out. It's
Okay.
a little bit closer to the house than the existing low stone walkway. There's a low stone retaining wall that's there now.
Yeah,
Not actually coming out that far with the addition.
okay. I'm trying to visualize a plan view in my head, so that's where I'm going with this. So that
Right.
I can see what it would look like superimposed on this survey had
Mhm.
it been drawn on. Okay, thank you. What else? Okay, I move we approve BZA case SV 21-02-08.
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. LaBeouf,
Yes.
Mr. Jarman,
Yes.
Mr. Foley,
Yes.
Mr. Gear.
yes,
All
Okay, your case is approved. You have 180 days to pull your permit.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, moving on to case number 5, SV 210209, 2920 Parkridge Drive. Is the applicant with us?
Yes,
Sam.
this is Cheryl Patasema.
Cheryl Papasema, okay. If you would state your name and address and the nature of your hardship, please.
Cheryl Patasema, 2920 Parkridge Drive. We would like to have the setbacks reduced for the front, right, and left side for a second-story addition and a deck on an existing non-conforming house. You should
Okay.
have, our architect, Cherie Pitts, has been communicating with Sherry, and I'm assuming that maybe you have the detailed information that you need.
Okay. This is a public hearing. If anyone would like to speak to this case, they may do so at this time. Okay, since we have no public comment, we will close the public portion and open it up to questions from the board.
So it would appear that you're tearing the house down and starting over.
Well, we're leaving the existing foundation to marry current building materials that meet today's standards, trying to marry that with the 90-year-old siding, plumbing, electric would be cost prohibitive.
But you're tearing out the foundation and you're not using the 90-year-old foundation, I'm
We'll be
assuming.
using the foundation, yes.
You got a survey or an engineer, structural engineer to verify that?
Well, I thought that our architect had given you all that information, but yes, we've had it surveyed. There's a concept drawing for you by Studio C Architect and Interiors.
I think what he's asking for is something from the engineer certifying that the foundation thing, this construction.
I apologize. I cannot answer that question.
I have no doubt that she will handle that. She is,
But Cherie's built quite a
Yeah.
few number of houses in Homewood.
yeah, she is on top of it.
And I don't know if this will help any, but our son lives right next door, and his house, when they first moved to Homewood, was a mirror image of the house that we've purchased. And they had to do the same thing. They went down to the foundation and built 2 stories
I remember
and,
there.
and use the existing foundation. And that house they've been living in it for about 4 years now.
Their lot's a little bit different than,
Yes, our lot is smaller and more triangular in shape, but the 2 houses were almost identical.
is the
And
new
it was
house going
the
to be
same
almost
architect.
identical?
No.
I think I have, and just because it may be easier to get to in the staff report, I have the elevation on page 4 of 6.
And Brian is the 3rd one past the survey. I mean, the chart that shows us what they want for the setbacks. Oh.
The only reason I put that 2014 survey image in here was just because something hinky has happened here, and I'm not quite sure what or when. But Sheree is working on that to find out when or if a portion of the lot, basically from the carport to Southern Place, is not showing on the current survey or on the tax assessor's office information. And
I
so we're
remember
not-
something about that because a friend of mine owned that house at one time.
So we were trying
I'm
to
not
figure
sure
out,
what-
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was that happened, but I just remember that there was something about that little piece, the little triangular piece at the corner.
Yeah.
That, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention when they were telling me about it. And I remember there was some discussion about how that happened.
And we don't know either, but Cherie has done the plans not incorporating that little corner.
No, we were just trying to
And
figure
so,
out
yeah. But yes, I would
where
love
it
to know that
went.
too. Yeah, I would
Because-
love to know that too.
Yeah, and
So does that not make this a corner lot anymore?
no, it's still a corner. No, see, that was what was so weird, because it's still right of way. And the code says right of way, not road. So
But we
were-
changed that, so I wasn't, I mean, but I just looked at it and said, that's
But-
an interesting question.
no, it is still, it's right of way. It's just weird that in 2014 it was there and then boom, it was gone, but we couldn't find a deed or anything. The tax and Vicky is good at finding stuff on the tax assessor's website.
Interesting.
And she couldn't find anything.
Is the carport coming down?
Yes, it will be.
Okay, thanks.
Will that still give you 2 off-street parking places?
You're just
Um,
reconfiguring all of that. They were trying to, yeah, I've been speaking with Cherie about that, and she had, and really truly, I think my last conversation with Cherie may have been, what happened to this portion of the lot? And if and she was having her surveyor find out if there was more room to extend, but there will still be plenty of room there where the carport is now for them to have the parking spaces.
So it won't be a carport or garage or anything like that. It'll be open.
that is correct.
Mm.
Do you know what the height of the actual finished structure is going to be? It just has some greater than and less thans on your
No, I don't
request.
know the answer to that either. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
My husband's looking through emails and things to see if he can find it. To see if we have that information.
Okay.
But it's not going to be anything unusual.
Not going to be any
We're not
taller
gonna
than
have any,
than your
no.
son's house.
Right. It'll be
No.
very similar in size.
Mm.
There are no further questions. Wanna make a
Sorry.
motion?
I move we approve BZA case SV 21-02-09.
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. LaBeouf,
Yes.
Mr. Jarman,
No.
Mr. Foley,
Yes.
Mr. Gear,
Yes.
Okay, those 4-1, your variance request is approved. You have 180 days to pull your permit.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, circling back to case number 2. 315 Dale Avenue is the
Here you go.
applicant.
We're here. We're on Zoom.
On Zoom. Okay. If you would please state your name and address and the nature of your hardship, please.
Yeah, my name is Charles Edward Saab Jr. and address is 315 Dale, D-A-L-E Avenue. Edgewood, right by where the middle school used to be.
I'll just bring them into another room.
Easy.
Will you come back here?
Okay. You want to tell us a little bit about your case, about your variance request?
Yes, sir. It's a old house built in 1938 by Mr. Gillespie. And at that time, he was building the Thus Mansion in Mountain Brook. And if you look in the history of Mountain Brook, this is the only house address even mentioned in that, at 315 Dale. And one thing our house hasn't had is a portico. Most every other house in the neighborhood has one. It's a Cape Cod, and I've got drawings of. I tried coming over there, and I've been covered up. I had to run payroll today, but I've got the surveys done by Joey Miller, and then Rob. Let's see, what's Rob's last name? Rob Ward, I believe. And he did the drawing, architectural drawing of it. So more or less, we're not getting much closer to the street because we already have the steps there. And so it would have 4 ionic pillars supporting a gabled roof and the steps going up into the house. And it's got iron molding, whatever you call them. I'm sorry, I just got home from work and I've been in the weather all day. The grates that you hold going up, I'm gonna get them done with that guy on First Avenue. It's always been a tire customer of ours. We have Saab Tire and Automotive downtown. And Rob Walker did these things. Y'all have any of his drawings there? Angie said she was going to get them. I couldn't get it to print right scale. I only get part of it. But please ask questions.
Okay, thank you. No, I do not have any drawings in my packet, but this is a public hearing. If anyone would like to speak to this case from the public, they may do so at this time.
I've lived here since 1977 and was one of the first ones to start renovating houses. And boy, you talk about renovating houses. And Edgewood is, I like it because it's flat. I grew up in Yorkshire Drive in Hollywood, and that was tough on the legs with a single speed bicycle going up that hill from the old Homewood Shades Creek Park up to the top of the hill where the Shalacy's live.
Okay,
But it's a pretty house.
Mr. Saab, give me just 1 second. If we have no public comment, we will close the public portion and open up to questions from the board. Mr. Saab, you may please continue.
Well, just tell me what you want to hear. Because I've been through this before. When Betsy's mother was ill, and I didn't know much about it, we had to add a lot to it, but we didn't get the variance in time, and she passed away before we got it in. But it's really a simple thing, and I'm gonna put on good gutters, the kind of ones that I won't kill myself. I'm 69 years old, falling off the kind of the water governors with the leaf guard.
Okay, so you're just building a gabled front porch cover, basically.
That's it. We already have a front porch, and it has just fake Doric pillars, and they match, what's inside the house on the fireplace. It's a great house. When I got it, it had actually been used as apartments for some Samford University law students, and inside of it, once we moved the closets, there was just all kind of gorgeous woodwork,
So this is an open porch. It's not a screen porch, or you don't have any intention of ever closing it in?
Oh, no. My Miss Dabney, right 2 blocks down from me, she's got a porch that looks like it's on the back of the house, but it's on the front and it's screened, but it's been there a long time. Oh, no, it's just, this is to make it look a little better. And then, we can go outside and not get rained on for that little part. The guy that's down on First Avenue North that makes the iron gutters, they do a good job. And I've ironed, what are the things? I'm tired. It's been a long day. Things you hold your hand.
The railing.
That's exactly right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's been a tire customer a long time, and the one with the toupee. But it's not really going to be much different than what it is, but it's going to look better and be functional. And so instead of fake pillars, we'll have real pillars. And my mother's name was Ione, so we have to use ionic pillars. And, you know, the steps really are already there. Everything's flagstone, even the steps walking up from the street.
Okay, and the covered porch is going to be 8 feet by 10 feet. Is that right?
I guess that's about right.
About right. Okay.
Mhm. I don't know whether it's, I don't know whether it's 8 feet wide and 10 feet tall. I'm looking at the drawings. I got 10 copies of them. I went over to Rob's place. He's a good architect. He's on 2nd Avenue South over there looking at that walkway. And
It's
so, you know,
hard to read, Mr. Jarman, but it is 10 feet.
okay.
I'm
Is
just
that
looking at-
wide?
Magnifying glass.
Is it wide? Oh, let me get mine. I got one of them from, you know, Publishers Clearinghouse where it's got little light bulbs in it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it says it
10
on
foot
the
wide.
survey.
Yes, 10 foot wide on the outside of the Doric pillars.
All right.
Or ionic, I mean, sorry. We're not replacing the door. And I've seen some have this where they have 3 upstairs gable windows. Well, ours only has 2, so it's perfectly symmetrical there. What on the right of it, that's where we used to be a den. That's where we turned into a master suite on our last construction effort. We got some cutest neighbors over here now. The guy across the street from me bought that house, and it was also built by Mr. Gillespie. And ends up he owns the building that used to be, when I was a baby, Southern Grocery, and he's a dentist, 32nd Street and 6th Avenue South. That's kind of ironic.
He's my dentist,
Is he? What's his name? I forget.
Aaron Cook.
That's right. That's right. And she's an artist. She's a sweetheart. I've done some trimming on the big bushes I had on our north side so the kids could see. And I'm trying to get those on the south side trimmed. I did them one time and the lady that owns the house said they weren't mine, even though I planted them. And so I need to get her to trim them down. So when cars are flying too fast, at least the kids can see them or they can see the kids. Or I could call Tim Ross and see what he thinks. But it should make it really pretty. Up underneath the, we're gonna put the faceboard up there is not gonna be the tin. You know, it's covered. It's a vinyl siding, 10-ish, but we'll just put wood back there, and it will have dental molding underneath it. Do you know what I mean by dental molding?
No more questions?
No.
Now, if we do make a motion, need to be sure we specify that it's for the purpose of building a uncovered
Covered, but
porch.
Yeah,
A
or
covered porch,
it-
not just a blanket.
No, it'll be a covered,
Yeah.
it'll be a way not to get wet. We don't even have to add any lights because we got the lights there already. I'm not gonna put one of them. What do these people put all this, how does it look like? They run burning gas all the time in their little light things to get them to light forever, and why?
I move we approve BZA case SV 21-02-06 as submitted.
I second.
All
All
right,
right.
all right. I'll call the roll. Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. LeBoeuf,
Yes.
Mr. Jarman,
Yes.
Mr. Foley,
Yes.
Mr. Gear.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Your variance request is approved. You have 180 days to pull your permit.
Okay.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything, y'all.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night. All right.
Okay.
I guess with that, we will end the, what's the day? February 2nd meeting of the Board of Zoning Adjustments.